Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, I'm talking about what are the top 10 loadouts, the best weapons to use after the new update in Warzone. What we're going to talk about are the best weapons to pair together, and then give you guys what I think the top 10 loadouts are to use right now in Warzone. So if you guys learn anything new, the video does help you out, please leave a like. If you guys are part of the 90% of the people that watch the video that are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button down below. The best overall class up to use right now, we actually are going to be recommending the PPSH. After last night's buff, this gun is godly. The time to kill is incredible. AMAX is obviously the #1 weapon to use. Monolithic, Zodiac, VLK, 45 round mag, and Commando. PPSH, you guys will be able to see the class setup on screen. As you can see, I'm only level 21. I haven't leveled it up yet, which I need to do today because this is the new best SMG to use. But obviously, Task Force Barrel, 55 round mag, Field Agent, Agency Suppressor, and Raider stock. It's a godly close to mid-range SMG with a TTK being top 3 now and having godly range. I think it is the #1 SMG to use right now to pair with your ARs. Obviously, AMAX's best AR. If you're going for the long range, obviously the Kilo. This is going to be your Kilo, your M13, or your Grau, whichever is your preferred Modern Warfare rifle for the best accuracy. Obviously, same class setup, longest long barrel, Commando 60 VOK. And then the number 3 and number 4 loadouts are actually the same. We're pairing our AMAX or RAM with a sniper. The RAM is actually one of the #1 weapons on the rise. And the reason I had this in the top 4 loadouts, I'm actually ranking these in order of what are best. The RAM is one of the best weapons to use right now. A lot of people realize this gun kills faster than, I think, 14 different top weapons. The only guns that kill faster is the PPSH, the AMAX, the AK, and both MP5s. So out of the top 20 weapons, it kills faster than 80% of them, which makes it incredible. The bullet velocity is incredible. Obviously, same class up for every Modern Warfare weapon. Mono, longest long barrel, VOK, extended mags, and Commando, paired with a Car 98 or SPR, whatever your preference for sniper. The 5th loadout is, for me, I think the Krig is one of the most underrated guns to use right now in the game. It's a very high damage, high accuracy, and when you make it into a Cold War AR, the mobility as far as movement speed, straight speed, ADS is a little bit faster than that of the Grau M13 and Kilo, which is what makes it excellent with a higher damage. So I think this is one of the most underrated weapons to use. Obviously, pair with the PPSH again, because the PPSH is, like I said, the best SMG to use right now. Obviously, Ranger Barrel for the best bullet velocity. Field Agent 60, Axial Arms 3 times. This is one of the guns that actually does get a pretty good improvement as far as with the fast mag over the reload time, but you get about a 2 frame slower ADS, which takes you from like 350 to 400, which is now the same ADS as the other weapons. So if you want the fastest ADS possible, use the regular 60 round mag. The number 6 class setup is going to be the pros, what all the pros are using. You ever go watch a Swag or any of the Tommy, any of the top pros that play in the tournaments? Obviously, AMAX, you guys already know the class setup. What they are using is either the XM4 with the AK, which are 2 really fast killing weapons. The reason the XM4 SMG meta has risen is the stray speed is incredible. It's like almost 70%, which the best SMGs are getting between 60 and 70. So it has SMG level stray speed with this exact class setup, and the recoil is pretty good. So they're not running the Field Agent to give them the with no negative as far as the firing move speed. So your shooting move speed's fast, your stray speed's fast, and obviously your overall mobility is the fastest if you stack it with a 45 round speed mag to get the fastest reload possible. So the difference, this would be the AK here instead. The AK has a fast reloading. This would be just a 60 round mag instead with the same 4 attachments, which the AK has a faster time to kill than the XM4, which I've seen a lot of the pros using. The last 4 class setups are all my personal preference for someone that does a lot of data and looks into a lot of these weapons in depth. I think the Grau is still meta because it's very good at range. This is going to be mainly for the slower players like myself. If you're the slow player in your quads or you're playing duos or trios and you play slower, the Grau with the VOK is going to give you the best recoil possible. Definitely recommend the VOK over the TAC laser just because the VOK is going to help improve your recoil the most. And as far as the ADS effect, it has the least amount of effect on the Grau out of every Modern Warfare weapon. Obviously, you guys already know Archangel Commando 60. You can use the TAC laser because it's going to help your player tracking, which 100% helps in the long range with the aim walking steadiness. The aiming stability obviously improves your first shot accuracy, and the aim down sight speed being improved is also excellent. But as I said, if you're using this as a long-range rifle, only beyond 40 to 50 meters, tac laser or VLK, whichever your preference. For me, like I said, the VLK zoom is what I prefer because it helps me to get a closer perspective on who I'm shooting at. But like I said, with the tac laser, 100% helps your player tracking. The one SMG I'm going to recommend is the LC-10. I think with the PPSH buff, it definitely improved it the most. But if you're going for the best accuracy class setup, you use the Ranger Barrel Agency Field Agent 52 round fast mag or 55, whichever is your preference. For me, the 52 round fast mag, same ADS with a faster reload, and then obviously Raider stock. These are the two weapons stacked together to give you the best accuracy. If you're not the most aggressive player like me, I play really, really slow, I definitely would recommend that. The number 7 loadout, I think it's 8 loadout would be Stoner. I think the Stoner is still one of the most underrated weapons. Similar to the Bullfrog, it has 75 round mags off the rip, so you're able to run a different attachment here, which I prefer the Airborne Elastic Wrap, which I think they actually buffed last night to improve the aiming stability, and obviously faster aim down sight time. You only lose fire and move speed, which helps make you more accurate in my opinion. The big negative, it has a lot of vertical recoil, which using the task force to be able to get better velocity adds more recoil. The gun has a lot of kick, but if you stack the Field Agent Axial and the Agency Suppressor, it kind of helps reduce it. But TTK wise, this is a top ranked weapon, and base range wise is the second out of every gun in the game. So it's definitely a very top tier meta weapon. What I'm going to stack it with is going to be the mobility class set of Mac-10. No grip, because the Mac-10 competes in a class of its own as far as the mobility. The Raider stock, Tiger Team Spotlight to give us the best strafe speed and movement speed. Task Force, obviously improved range, and Agency for improved range with the 353 round mag. Mobility wise, if you're running an LMG, you need the fastest moving SMG possible because these move so slow. That is why we have the Mac-10 on there with this class setup. The base range is still almost 20 meters, but the mobility strafe speed wise, this is going to be in a class of its own at almost like 80% strafe speed, which almost the gun strafes as fast as the Stoner almost moves sprinting, which what makes the class incredible. The number one class setup behind that is the PKM. I just uploaded a video on what is the best LMG. This gun has a one headshot TTK lowering ability in the close range up to like 48 meters. And then even beyond the 50 meter mark with one headshot, your TTK lowers, which is what helps make this gun incredibly, incredibly deadly. I believe I've seen Nick Merckx the last 2 days using this because you get 100 rounds, and then you also have the Snatch Grip, which is the only gun that has this attachment, which improves recoil and ADS speed. So the ADS speed of this is still just as good as the Kilo while having better range. And then tac laser, obviously, to help improve our player tracking because this is a long range weapon only. So your recoil and player tracking with this gun is godly, and the VLK helps improve the overall recoil as well. So just across the board, it's a good LMG. Obviously, it has very, very low mobility, but it's going to have a very good accuracy, and pretty much everything time to kill wise is incredible for this. And obviously, if you're running the PKM, it's a long range weapon only. I would recommend stacking it with the LC-10 or the Mac-10, but for me, the LC-10 stands a little bit better on its own. It's a little bit more accurate, so I would stack it with the PKM as my SMG to use for the close to mid-range. The last class setup, once again, Mac-10 is our SMG, Tiger Team Spotlight, Raider stock, obviously 53 round mag, and the best mobility possible. We're going to be using the Fara. This is a gun that in the mid-range kills faster than the Krig. This is basically like the AMAX for the Cold War version. We're using the Liberator barrel to give us some bullet velocity, stacked with the axial arms 3 times to give us a good mid-range rifle. So this is definitely a class that I highly, highly recommend because the accuracy of the Fara is godly. When you run it with the Task Force barrel and no axial, it had a very good recoil pattern. So to take off the loss in recoil and improve it with the axial, this is going to be an incredibly accurate weapon in the mid-range with better bullet velocity in the AMAX, which is a excellent class up to try out. So after the new update, like I said, PPSH definitely took a rise. I 100% recommend trying it out. The only 3 SMGs I'd be using is obviously the LC-10, Mac-10, or PPSH. But like I said, there's a lot of different guns to try out in the new meta. Stoner, PKM, Fara, mid-range. Obviously, Krig Grau, Kilo are still the long-range weapons. Even in the SMG meta, AKXM4 is your SMG, and then the RAM is the biggest weapon on the rise with the Modern Warfare MP5. So those are the 10 best loadouts, SMGs, ARs. I recommend stacking together to give you the best possible class setups. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.